Okay. Well, I didn't really expect this to go 3 parts. I mean, 10 minutes goes by. I don't even know how to describe how 10 minutes goes by. Okay, I ended the last video, and I would offer to all the atheists out there that, you know, you have to think, you have to be careful what you wish for. Because if your system is propagated throughout all of mankind and you exterminate religion as the Richard Dawkins of the world do, and you look at a society that's going to be ran by mankind, every society that we've ever seen in the history of mankind eventually gets corrupt. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about capitalism, socialism, and communism. I was originally going to put together a video and talk about the horrors of socialism and communism. And then I watched some videos that were on the various subjects, and I thought about it. And I thought to myself, what is the main thing about a political system? What is the very most important thing about any political system that's most important to me? And it has to do with limiting the corruption of the leaders. A limited form of government does that. You could argue the pros and cons of communism, and you could say theoretically if everybody was just and everybody worked hard, everybody would do okay. You could argue that. You could argue that socialism is good stuff too, and that if we had a socialistic society and we eliminated the elite, if everybody did the proper thing, then it would be a good system. I am a proponent of laissez-faire capitalism, which is the only 3 valid functions of government are a police force, national security, and judiciary system. All other forms of government are better performed by the private enterprise. I'm not an anarchist. I'm pretty dang close to an anarchist. Turn my hat around so you can... I salute End Time Watchmen. There you go. I'm not going to wear this every video. I'm going to go back to this thing. But you guys won't have to look at my mohawk all the time. But when you think about the most important thing that allows men to be free in any political system, it's to limit the potential for corruption of the leaders. You could argue that capitalism is not doing so well right now because we have so much corruption in Washington. They're raping and pillaging the wealth of our country. None of them seem to pay their taxes. Every time we turn around, there's corruption, and this congressman got caught doing that. Do you think that the ones that get caught are the only ones that we know about? I'm telling you, that whole freaking system up there is full of corrupt people. And when you think about that, it's like, well, even capitalism is failing us. It's not the system that fails us, it's the corruption of the leaders and the corruption that eventually occurs, and it even brought down Rome. I would ask you to consider that when you think about the best political system for a people, it's the one that limits the potential for corruption of leaders to screw over the common guy, the average guy like you and me. So that's why I'm a big proponent of laissez-faire capitalism. In communist system where everything is controlled by the state and everybody works the same, and you know, everything, they always say everything will be better in 5 years. I mean, one of the things Ayn Rand taught us about communism is that there's barely enough for anybody. And the saying, and you see these propaganda signs all over a communist society, and it's like, in 5 years things will be better, and then in 5 years later, 5 years, that goes on as long as they can continue the message. It's always going to be better in 5 years. And the elite of a communist system just screw over everybody because everybody becomes an indentured servant to them, feeding the system. To a certain extent, I guess that's the same with socialism. The problem with socialism, the way I heard it, it's a good little catchphrase. The problem with socialism is that eventually we run out of other people's money. You know, I know that these words are bastardized. Socialism to me may mean something different to you. When I use the word capitalism, people are going to think of the United States. When I use the word capitalism, I think of laissez-faire capitalism. The words are so bastardized, it's like saying Republican Democrat. They don't have no meaning. There's no meaning for these words anymore. They're all bastardized and they mean the same. So I would ask you, let's rephrase our words so that they do have meaning and we can recognize those among us who understand, you know, I might have been using the word capitalism all along, and people are looking at this saying, well, capitalism is failing us. It's not capitalism that is failing us. It is the corruption of our leaders. And we have to get back to a system that limits the potential for the corruption. Abolishing the Federal Reserve would tremendously move us in that direction. Now, well, that's really all I got to say. I mean, in any event, you know, I strongly believe in God. I think God is necessary for fighting the New World Order. I think, and anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm not going to ramble anymore. I'm going to end the video. Y'all have a great night. I got my hat. It took me 3 weeks. I salute End Time Watchman. I think he's great. I got no problems with you. You love your family. You're a God-fearing patriot. I'd love to have you as my neighbor. Although I don't think you want to live around here. But anyway, that's all I got. Y'all have a great night. Thank you.